Welcome to the Mythic Movie Maker podcast, where we discuss movies from a mythological perspective. And right now we're going through the James Cameron movies in what I'm calling the Cameron X Machina. Why, Nick? Because it's cool.
Because it's cool. Actually, that was my favorite line in the movie. Actually,
Which one?
they call him the Sand Spider.
Oh
Why?
yeah.
Probably because they think it sounds cool or sounds scary.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds scary. There's a lot in this movie that is sort of like surface versus deep, you know.
Uh-huh.
The sand spider surface level sounds cool, just like Simon surface level looks cool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like Simon is the used car salesman, like literally a used car salesman.
yeah.
He uses that to fool people into thinking that he's like that guy, and like because like the coolness of a car, it isn't girls aren't really impressed by the fact that the car like girls don't care about cars. What do they care about? They care about guys that have the money to buy cool cars because that should be like a reflection of your
It's like
status
it's a
and your
display of status. Yeah,
yeah. And like, but what's unsaid with the car is, and how like young people would look at cars is like the amount of work that it took, and a bunch of unsexy things it took to get to that level of being able to buy a car,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And that's the fact that he's this fancy car that he drives around town is just like borrowed from the dealership that he works at.
Yeah. It was a great shot where he just like takes the
The
price
placard
the price like I just puts
and the best part was like it was such like a smooth motion, like a practiced motion
exactly that
that
he
you
done
know that
it.
he takes this thing out every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a slime ball. And there was a lot. I felt like there was a lot of stuff of like surface and under the surface,
Uh-huh.
like another one was those winged bull statues, the Persian statues, which I don't, are they Persian?
Like they looked like Mesopotamian
That's
gods.
what I thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because I've
But
seen stuff like that before.
but also like 600 BC would be
Quite old. But what's inside? Okay, so first off, she describes this is going to the end. She describes the statues as being priceless artifacts and beautiful and old and everything. And then like and actually, what where they put these things was at the gates of the cities, of the
mm,
ancient cities as protectors. They're like these big scary things to scare off evil spirits or enemy armies or whatever.
uh-huh.
And so that they're protectors. And then what's inside?
Yeah. Bombs.
Nukes. Yeah.
I read that a little differently because like there's this long history of like going into sort of these developing countries and like taking these like ancient artifacts and like out of their normal environment and like bringing them to the museums and stuff.
Hmm.
Like I feel like this is kind of like a almost like a revenge for that of like this kind of like rapacious attitude that the West is said to have is kind of like being turned against them. Like, oh, we're taking all these priceless artifacts away from Iran or Syria or whatever.
Yeah.
But in that is like this poison pill of these nukes that are going to blow up a bunch of American cities.
That's a good point. Like every good myth, this works on many levels. It works in that political level, and it's we're slowly going from our enemies being the Russians to our enemies being Middle Eastern countries, so it's the
Oh yeah,
90s.
true.
Um, and it's really funny to watch Hollywood movies throughout the 1900s and just, see who our enemies are at any given time.
Yeah.
Who it's okay to beat up on. And so it works on a political level. It works on a story level, barely, because it's so like most of the movie is so goofy.
I would actually say that like right up until the point where like Jamie Lee Curtis starts to get involved,
Hmm.
like it plays like the James Bond tropes
Yeah.
so straight.
Yeah.
Like it makes them over the top, but like someone who isn't looking for it and might not be paying too much attention, like might not realize that's a satire. Up up
Well,
up
but
until like up until like the husband wife stuff starts to become
yeah, it becomes
but then
the
it
metaphor
becomes
becomes because that it well it's interesting at that point the metaphor sort of inverse and the metaphor becomes the actual story.
yeah. Yeah, like the whole story is about like this sort of rocky relationship between the husband and the
Exactly.
wife, and it's like this actually speaks to the title of the movie
Hmm.
of the problem wasn't that he was off doing stuff like spy stuff all the time. The problem wasn't that he was doing like dangerous spy stuff at all. The problem was that he was lying about it.
Hmm.
Because like as soon as he came clean about his like spy nonsense, like that just fixed all the problems with their relationship and everything.
Well, it didn't
Not
you can't just come clean and that's it. There was a lot of trouble that they had to overcome because you can't just come you just like say it is about somebody cheating on their wife. If you just tell the your wife like, "Hey, so turns out I was cheating on you. My bad." Do you think that's it?
well, I think that like what like this is different from cheating in the sense that this is a like a reasonable, defensible thing to do. Like
I would argue not.
you'd argue that being a super spy is indefensible in the same way that cheating on your wife is.
That's a harder question. What's interesting about the movie is that it doesn't condemn lying. It doesn't condemn cheating. It doesn't condemn stealing. And it also doesn't condemn killing
Okay.
because everybody does those things for good, for what's good. It's like Arnold said too, like when she asked him, like, did you kill people? He's like, yeah, they were all bad guys though. And it's a stupid line, but I think it strikes to one of the hearts of the movie, which is there aren't any absolute truths.
Yeah, but like I think that's a case where whatever the truth serum is,
Hmm.
like it doesn't give you like access to like the absolute objective truth. It just makes the person say what they believe is true. So when he says
Mm.
so when he says like, oh, they're all bad guys, like it's not it doesn't have to be true. It just has to be his truth.
You're no, you're totally right. I mean, it's almost more important than the absolute truth is what you believe is true.
Yeah,
That
like he killed a bunch of people and that's not good, but he was thoroughly convinced of his righteousness, which is the important thing.
Yeah, and that's revealing.
Like
But
yeah, like Simon knew he was a piece of shit.
that's true. And so there were two people that Simon reminded me of. Simon reminded me of Mr. Blonde a little bit, just because he was such a like he was so bought into who he is, and he knew
Yeah.
exactly who he was. The only problem is it was a piece of shit.
Yeah, well he's Buck from
The other one, yes, that was the one that
Yeah,
came to me right away. He's like exactly Buck.
yeah,
He even looks like him.
hmm
And another, that's Bill Paxton, right?
yeah,
Another amazing performance.
yeah. He's been in like almost all of these. He's,
And he's
James
always,
Cameron loves this guy.
but my favorite line of the movie is when Jamie Lee Curtis wouldn't have sex with him. And then
Yeah,
so he goes, "Well, if you won't do it for me, do it for America."
yeah. He was perfect. Like the whole scene of them like the real spies listening in on him like talking out of his ass.
Hmm. It was
Uh,
comical.
it was comical.
He was kind of a weird guy too because it was kind of a mind this whole movie to me was like a mind trip because he was pretending to be who Arnold um Harry really was.
Yeah, and Harry was pretending to be the most boring person possible.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is Jamie Lee Curtis was attracted to the person, the fake Harry.
Hmm
And, Harry was doing his best to, in for Jamie Lee Curtis, for Helen, he was doing his best. He thought it was good to pretend to be a normal person for her.
And and not just pretend to be a normal person, but to be almost be a like a parody of someone with a boring job.
Exactly. And there was a lot of Kill Bill in this too, because it reminded me of the scene with um what's his name? The sword maker guy. Hatari Hanzo,
Yeah.
where they're both doing like a terrible impression of just being normal people, you know?
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like comical how bad it is because it's their view of what a normal person does and it's so boring.
Yeah, like it's he has like so much disdain for his own cover story.
And his lies are intentionally boring. Like he talks about computers as if he's very interested in them, but he
Yeah.
knows that it's the most boring thing that he could talk about. And it's
Yeah,
like
that yeah, like that like the actual conversation was him talking about how like when you load up a client or a customer, like all their information will show up on the screen. just just tracking numbers, past purchases. Oh, this is so interesting.
well, that's another thing too I thought was funny is the movie started out with them in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And Arnold speaks in that scene, he speaks every language except for German, which is a
Yeah.
language he knows. And that's what they speak in Switzerland, essentially.
I also love the fact that this guy's like a there's a I think it really adds to the unreality of the whole movie
Hmm.
that this guy looks and talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. like,
Yeah,
like it's
it
just
it's totally yeah, it's
like
total
this guy should be like a nondescript looking American with like
yeah.
a clearly American accent, but he's this hunk of meat the size of a fridge who talks like this. like it's
Yeah, I mean, well, that goes into like the trippiness of the movie too. Is like it seemed like James Cameron wanted it to feel like just a big role play. It's as if like Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger were an actual couple, and they were doing like a marriage counseling thing, which is role playing as being like a sexy spy, you know,
I think
to
you're I
fix
think
their
you're
marriage.
you're kind of not wrong because this is like so it's a parody,
Yeah.
but it's the perfect kind of parody because this is what it would look like if an unskilled writer tried to write James Bond.
Yeah.
It would look like the opening scene of this movie.
Yeah, except it was pretty cool,
It
like in
was
that way.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, like that's the thing. It's like it's easy to to like close your eyes and imagine a cool spy scene
Hmm.
when
Well,
most of the actual work of spy movies is like isn't just a cool scene. It's like couching that in the whole story. Like
sorry.
the two dogs chasing him and he grabs their heads and
That
smashes
was
them together.
hilarious. Yeah,
That
that
was
was
funny.
hilarious. And
And then
and
just like the casual inclusion of like Uzi wielding ski troops.
I feel like everybody watched this movie in the 90s and was like, okay,
This but real.
yeah. But it's kind of interesting psychologically because I've always thought, I had this theory of like, how do you become what you want to be, you know?
Uh-huh.
And it's like the imposter syndrome thing. At first, you have to kind of pretend to be it, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
until you become it for real. So if you want to be something, you have to act like you are it, and then slowly you will become it.
Well,
It's
there might be like a little bit of that there because like at the very end when he gets in that Harrier jet
uh-huh.
and his partner is like, "Don't what are you doing? You haven't driven one of these things in 10 years."
Hmm.
And all he did was like he just pretended that he was an expert pilot and it just kind of manifested
Yeah, it just
eventually.
and he definitely looked stupid at first.
Yeah.
Is and like those jets, is that an actual real thing that a jet can like just float in the air like that? Like a
Like
helicopter?
there's jets that can do like vertical takeoff and landing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but like the like I guess we're kind of like we're on the topic of like faking until you making it, but like the
Hmm.
daughter even does that too, where like she sees an opportunity to do something heroic and then just instantly takes it.
With
The turnkey for the nuke.
she and did that and what it she stole it, right?
Yeah,
He set that up at the very beginning.
where she stole from the
From
shirt pocket.
Yeah, that's another instance of there not being absolute truths,
Stealing is bad unless it isn't.
unless it's for good,
Yeah,
And it like for such a silly movie, he's tackling some really deep philosophy in that, because that's a giant moral question to like when you realize that there are no absolute truths.
yeah. Like it's oh like I kill people, but they're all bad guys. I steal things, but I steal them from the bad guys.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe sometimes cheating is justifiable.
I'm gonna have a hard time justifying that one.
Yeah, yeah, lying, stealing, cheating, killing. Those are kind of the major ones that we talk about, and they sort
Oh,
of.
although nobody really cheats on anybody in this movie in
It's
any
true.
real
They
way.
don't. That is the line. That seems to actually be the line,
Yeah,
So
like
everything is acceptable except for cheating, which is adultery, and that's the one law, that's the one like major sin that there isn't a law against in our society. I always thought that was funny,
well,
you know.
like coveting.
Cheating in this movie is the one line that they didn't cross.
Well, it's also that like neither of them seem to want to cheat. Jamie Lee Curtis, like it became it's pretty clear that her interest in Simon has nothing to do with Simon himself, but the spy stuff.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't want to be with this guy. Like she wants to do cool spy stuff.
Yeah. And I kind of expected like the Pina Colada song to play at the end
Oh yeah,
because that's basically what it was like what she wanted was what was in front of her the whole time
yeah,
and her husband. She just wanted her husband. Her honest, true husband,
yeah. It
not the lie husband.
makes you wonder if when she first met him, more like himself and less like the caricature of a boring man.
I would kind of expect that. Yeah. One other interesting thing about Simon is he represents Harry's alter ego psychologically.
Well, I think that they're two sides of the same coin in that he's a like a loser's idea of a cool person, and like Harry's alter ego is a cool person's idea of a loser.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Superman in Kill Bill when he was saying, like, Bill was
Yeah,
talking about Superman is his impression of us
yeah.
as like a weak loser.
Is his human costume is
hmm Here's something to chew on too. Tom Arnold and the data crunching guy in the van are also aspects of Arnold's personality.
okay.
I would say the data crunching guy, I would say that van is Arnold's brain.
We have like an inside out situation.
Exactly, except a lot more subtle.
Except both of them are like they're not representing like opposite sides of his personality because they're both like way more crass than he is.
Well, I don't think they're opposite. I don't think they're opposite, actually. I think the data guy represents his intellect, and I think Tom Arnold represents his super ego. Because Tom Arnold is always telling him, like, he has the overhead view of everything and he's helping him out, and is like running surveillance and everything. And he's
Uh
in close contact with the intellect. The intellect is feeding him information, and Tom Arnold is interpreting that to what does Arnold need?
so you think you think that Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie is id? He's pure. I feel like they do seem like more indicative of his like his work world in the sense that they're both kind of like kind of crass, kind of disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the most dudes in those ways. Like Tom Arnold is like a horny, swearing jock sort of guy. And
Yeah.
then the other aspect of being male is like this sort of like solo nerdy type, which is the and Arnold does say, or somebody says that he Arnold needs to get in touch with his feminine side in the movie. Do you remember that?
I don't remember who said it though.
Yeah, but it's, that's part of it is this sort of like he's just way too manly. But he's so removed. He's so separated from his feminine side that he just doesn't really he's just operating in this like very male closed off way, you know?
Yeah, well, like he doesn't understand like what his own wife is looking for, sort of.
Yeah.
Like to him, it's like, oh no, like he's viewing his own kind of intentions for her as her desires, like where he's like, oh, I want her to be safe and I
Yeah.
want her to have a normal, boring life.
Yeah.
Not like fully not realizing the fact that like normal, boring, and safe are things that she's not super excited about.
No, and because he thinks of her like just a pure female, you know? And it's like, well, that's what they need. That's the way that guys think is she is a woman, she needs to be taken care of and protected and,
Yeah,
and she wants a little bit of this masculine energy in her own life. And what he needs is a bit of feminine energy in his life. So, and throughout the movie they sort of it's so well done. Like they just sort
yeah.
of like slowly integrate into each other and they become a unit again, you know? a fully
Yeah,
integrated.
well, so like the movie is like almost entirely bookended by the two times that he dances the tango,
Yep, yep.
where at the very beginning it's almost empty, like it's he's the doing this tango dance and impressing this random woman are purely a means to an end. Like he needs to not, or he needs to be in the crowd of dancers so that he can like the armed guards looking for him don't find him.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. There's no passion to it. It's just performative.
It's utilitarian. He's
It's
doing it because like
utilitarian. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and then at the end like it's like there's none of that.
Hmm.
Like uh it's kind of ridiculous that they run into Simon at the end, to be honest. But like yeah, but like at the very end, there's no reason for them to be dancing together. Like they have a mission and they really should be moving on with the mission.
Hmm.
But like just the romance of it is irresistible to them of like having this pressure and ignoring it so that they can like be a husband and wife and like dance at on the dance floor of this fancy ball.
Yeah, and Tom Arnold is like yelling at him, like, "What are you doing? Don't you know that blah 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 blah." I have the confidence in my own ego now that I can just l- have a nice dance with my wife, and not for there to be any other reason for it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie, Harry, is kind of like a forward thinking, reasonable person.
Hmm.
But I think that James Bond as a personification of the id, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that,
I think that that's sort of what James Cameron is poking at a little bit. The idolized ultimate man dude
yeah,
is
like
sort of empty,
yeah,
you know?
of like I'm going to drink martinis and sleep with strangers that's and beat up other weaker men.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Men with that is an interesting fact. Like it's like who's the real bad guy if you're telling the story to your wife, of I just got home from watching James Bond. It was so cool. James Bond was awesome. Well, tell me about it. Well, he beat up a disabled guy at the end, but he was evil.
Yeah.
It's like all the James Bond villains have disabilities. So it's just a big, strong, smart guy beating up a guy with a disability at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
even the more recent ones um like I thought Casino Royale was just incredibly silly. Where it's like, yeah, I beat this guy at poker. He's a really good poker player. Like, how do you beat him? Oh, well, his eyes bleed every time he lies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
like we
Like,
we could never do a podcast like this on a James Bond movie because there's nothing to him. Like, and I've thought about that before, is like I've tried to like watch Mission Impossible and James Bond and these types of movies for like what is it really saying? Like what is it really about? And it's just nothing. There's not a lot there, you
well,
know?
the character has no arc because he has to end every movie at the exact point where a new James Bond movie can start.
Yeah.
And so there has to be no growth, no arc, and then there also
Hmm.
has to be like he has to be like an empty vessel for like a man to like project onto, be like, oh, that's the fantasy.
Yeah.
So he can't be too interesting or flawed because then he doesn't work as a power fantasy anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things this movie was really did a good job of breaking down. And the movie did such a good job of playing everything so lightly too.
Yeah.
Everything was just very fun and like you never it was so well done because like you knew Arnold was never in danger and Arnold knew he was never in danger. The tension in the movie wasn't the action tension.
it was their marriage.
Yeah, it was the emotional tension, and that was felt really deeply. And
Yeah, I would say like the most tense scene of the film is when they bust into Bill Paxton's trailer
uh-huh,
and it looks a lot like they're sleeping together.
uh-huh, that was well done.
And
Yeah.
like I was like, oh no, at no point in any shootout was I was like even concerned about his well being at all. But during that scene, I was like, oh no, it looks so bad.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right. Yeah. That was because it was like, "Oh no, he fell on her in just the wrong way," and like it's like you want to jump into the movie and be like, "Arnold, it's not what you think."
Yeah,
This whole thing started with Arnold going to Jamie Lee Curtis's work and finding out that she had a secret life. And then when he asked her about it, it turned out it was very interesting. Do you remember her response? It was at the
I mean,
dinner table.
she lied about it and made up a
Yeah.
story about
Yeah, and
which
and,
is
and
exactly what he's been doing for years.
yeah. And so it was sort of like this cuz and it's like very funny because he can't get too mad because like the movie began with him dancing with some random woman and he didn't think anything of it. He's just like, "Yep, we're just doing the thing." Old James Bond thing, having a good time, and then time to go home. And it's like, and then when his wife starts seeing somebody else, he's like, "This is an outrage." There was like zero self-reflection
Yeah.
to that. And
Well, the thing is that he was really concerned about her like having an affair,
mhm.
but he thought that like once he realized that it was about spy stuff, he thought it was hilarious. Like
True. Well, he
he
thought it
wasn't
was hilarious, but he also was pretty pissed.
he was still he was mostly concerned about the affair though. Like the fact that she was lying to him really didn't seem to bug him all that much. He was mostly concerned about what was going on. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Because it and he was Bill Paxton character was really desperate for her attention and that's really all she wanted, you know.
yeah, well, it's also like he's kind of just like the taboo of it is probably attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true, but that doesn't explain why he was like she dumped Arnold for this like gross guy, you
Yeah,
know. And Arnold's like at the time was like the peak, archetype of what a masculine man would like a
yeah,
girl
and
would
the,
love. Well, and
but she's
and
also like she's not with Bill Paxton so because she wants to cheat on her husband. She's with Bill Paxton because she I don't she almost seems to be unaware of the notion that he's trying to seduce her up until the very end.
mm,
Like she seems to just want to do spy shit.
yeah, so it's actually it's more based on Bill Paxton is just telling her the things she wants to hear, you know, and he knows
Yeah,
it, and he's a snake, like he's tricking her because
yeah.
he because he knows
Yeah,
what she
because
wants to hear.
yeah, and clearly it's pretty clear what the intention is. The intention is to sleep with her and then ghost her
Yeah.
because there's no way he has plane tickets to France. That's not happening.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that night they were gonna sleep together, and then
He was going to cut off all contact because like
yeah,
there's no recovery
yeah,
from that point.
no, yeah, because then it's gonna be all come out that it was just a big lie, and so in a way, Arnold does save her from that indignity, you know.
Although it seemed like she wasn't going to the impression that I got from watching the movie and watching her interact with Bill Paxton was that like them sleeping together was just never going to happen.
I don't know. Can you smell fake people when they're just being fake? I
I mean,
can.
like it's the there's like the toupee fallacy. I don't know if you heard of that one,
Mm-mm.
where like you think that you spot all the ones that are out there, but you don't know about the ones that you don't spot.
Um,
So it's like oh I can always spot a toupee, but the fallacy is that you only spot the ones that you're capable of spotting. And if 10 toupees walked past you and you only caught one of them, you thought that you caught all of them, like that kind of thing.
well, I have an amendment to that, which is say if you're a toupee, paster or whatever, you paste toupees on people and you know them intimately, you know intimately, wouldn't you be better at spotting fake ones?
Probably.
So if you get to know people better and you understand the human condition better, won't you be better at spotting fakes?
I mean, like they're like being able to spot fakes is a skill that you can have. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that like you don't know, like you only know about the ones that you catch. You don't
No,
know about the ones you don't catch.
yeah, I get it. I get it. Did you ever see Adaptation?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I don't remember it very well.
There was in the movie in the because it's about
Horse versus car is what.
yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I,
okay.
I so you thought about that too when you saw that because I was
Yeah,
like, oh
that
no,
I feel like
this
I
is
feel like
just like
that's
the bad movie that the guy in Adaptation was describing.
yeah, like that's one of the reasons why like I mentioned like this is a this is a bad writer trying to make a James Bond movie
Uh-huh.
or like a yeah like the sort of like the story like the spy story that's wrapped around the love story is a exactly that. It's like a, a, like someone watched a bunch of James Bond movies without any idea of like how they actually work and it's like I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah. Well, just, like Hollywood does. They just see the most superficial aspects of it. That's kind of what the difference between like a good marriage and a bad marriage is too, is, a good
Going through the
marriage,
motions versus like actually
yeah, doing
paying
it with
attention.
and circumstances in this movie kind of force them to go deep into their marriage and find the meaning in it because they've been separated
Hmm.
emotionally from their own marriage. And I think it all really kind of starts with Arnold overhearing the conversation with Simon.
Well, yeah, like he's like for the first time in a long time, he's like legitimately listening to her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is how she feels, and this is what she wants. And this is what I'm not providing.
Hmm.
And his immediate course of action is to like provide that to her. Like he's a little clumsy, a lot clumsy.
What does he do? I actually forgot.
Remember he like sends her on a secret mission and with leading to the dance sexy scene.
Oh yeah. That that was so good.
Yeah, where he's like he's like he's so like ultra competent doing spy stuff,
Hmm.
but like when he's like he's like trying to do the right thing for his wife, where he's like like she seems like interested in going on a spy mission. Like maybe this is what she needs.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe this is like he's trying to be right by her, but he's also like a little clueless. Like maybe she wants to like dance sexy. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. Like and that's because he's not in touch with his feminine side, you know? Because he
Yeah, well,
doesn't he's only fumbling and guessing. Yeah, you're totally right, of what she wants. It's like, does she want this or I don't know.
yeah,
What do they want? I don't know. But that's what that scene was what made me realize, oh, this whole thing is like a role play for
yeah,
for getting a marriage back on track, you know. And it's funny how clumsy she is about being sexy too, you know. She has to
yeah.
kind of
Like
like fit into it.
well, yeah, because there's the scene where she looks at her dress and it has like this frilly thing around the neck and these like uh sort of mesh sleeves.
Hmm.
And she like looks at herself in the mirror and she's like, this isn't sexy.
Yeah.
She's like, I like this is like I like she almost it's almost like tearing down like some barriers.
Yeah, it
Like where
is.
she's like,
Yeah.
she's like, wait a minute, like I've I have no idea what trying to be sexy looks like. And like only after seeing herself in the mirror, she's like, oh, I still look like somebody's mom.
Yeah, exactly. And so she actually is taking on some blame herself for the marriage fail being
Yeah, yeah.
not be because she is not trying either, you know.
Yeah, they're both being so unexciting to each other.
Yeah.
And only after they realize that they're like that each of them wants something a little bit more sort of dangerous and interesting,
Yeah.
like
And
like
yeah,
pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
exactly. Well, but this is actually this takes I think actually a more mature take on it than that song. Why do you think she wasn't sexy for so long? Like decided not to be sexy? Like, because it's a part of yourself when you're married that you think, oh, I don't need that anymore. I got my husband. I'm a mom. What do I need to be sexy for? You know?
With it, I think she might also be like trying to be responsible. It's like, oh, I'm a
Yeah,
career focused woman. I'm a
totally.
mom. We've been married forever.
You
Like
take
why
yourself too seriously.
yeah, yeah. It's like why
That's what, yeah.
yeah, where it's like I'm a responsible person now. Why would I ever own a slinky dress?
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems so immature to
Yeah,
dress like that if you're that age. But what's interesting is she's forced to take it seriously by Arnold, you know? Is
yeah.
like the mission depends on you looking sexy. And so drop all of your sort of um
Inhibitions.
inhibitions. Exact, thank you, Nick. Yeah. And you got to be the sexiest mama on the planet because or else the mission will fail. And what's the mission? Their marriage, you know? So it's these
Yeah.
two people that take their lives just way too seriously, you know?
Well, and
And
also like it's like watching his wife like do the sexy stuff, do the sexy dance. Like he almost he like forgets about the role play and kind of like
yeah,
loses control. He's like, oh my, like I forgot that my wife was this hot, and he like,
exactly. Yeah, like he drops the recorder thing. That
yeah,
was a
he
good
starts,
moment.
yeah, he forgets about the role play. He's like, I am so into this right now,
Yeah,
like he kind of like breaks character.
yeah, yeah. And it's the first time that they spoke to each other, like they told the truth to each other. It's kind of like The Abyss, you know, when they like there was that moment where the husband and wife were like telling the truth to each other for the first time.
Hmm.
But they were separated by the ocean,
Oh
you know?
yeah,
But it's like in this, the first time they actually spoke to each other honestly and had a real conversation with each other and asked each other the things that they wanted to was it had to be through the glass, the two-way mirror or the one-way mirror.
yeah,
Do you remember that? And he was like kind of interrogating her in the spy sort of way. She does something interesting, which is she takes the chair and then she breaks the glass. She tries to get to him. And that's just sort of like them just getting through to each other and it's really kind of violent in an emotional way. And then with the sexy dance scene, which ties to the tango, you know, they learn to tango.
yeah.
Um in the sexy dance scene, they don't see each other. It's darkened in a way that they aren't looking at each other, but they're a little bit closer. They don't have that mirror separating them, you know? So they're getting closer and closer to each other, and they're kind of knowing each other through going through this role play, which is a fake thing.
Hmm.
But through going through this fake thing, they're getting to know the real them, which is sort of ironic. But that's how we work. Like that's how humans are. You need to have this sort of like trick that gets you to to be real because being real is super scary, you
Yeah.
know? So you need to find sort of a back door or a Trojan horse to being real with somebody, and play is the way to do it.
Like yeah, like being in this role play scenario allows like you to yeah, like push forward aspects of yourself that you'd otherwise be sort of trying to repress.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the like in that same way, like it's not so like Jamie Lee Curtis isn't the only like like woman in his life. It's also his daughter.
Yeah.
Like where like being this kind of like boring, unmasculine kind of like caricature of an office worker.
Hmm.
Like it seems to also be like the at the root of like her disrespect for him too,
Yeah, completely. That's a
where
good
she
point.
wants where she's like rebelling against him. She's like stealing from his coat, and she's hanging out with this like motorcycle riding boyfriend, and all of this is just like almost like out of sheer disrespect for Arnold.
Teenagers are highly intuitive, you know, and they can smell bullshit.
I don't think that they're any more aware of bullshit. I think that they're just coming to realize all of like that they've been bullshitted for so long.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So there's this hyper awareness of just like if that's not true, what is?
Yeah. And then you become kind of nihilist and be like, well, if nothing matters, why not just be a be a jerk, you know? Do
Yeah, yeah. And if you spend a lot of time riding the bus or trains, you'll get a sense for what what kind of assholes teenagers are.
she's trying to that's what it is. She's trying to draw the like the truth out of him because she can sense that her parents are just so phony baloney, you know. And she does these things to like try to like shake the truth out of them, you know. And it's
Uh
like,
huh.
please yell at me, Dad. Like I did something bad, just yell at me. And I want to see that spy man come out, and then he just refuses to do it because he erroneously thinks, well, that's not good. You don't do that to your kid. You don't like yell at your kids. That's mean. Well, it's like, well, they want it, They
Yeah.
because that's honest. I think that people think like growing up means like removing all the play from their life. So being a grown up is equated with having zero fun. And you're actually reverting to being just a shell of a person, and that is not being grown up, you know.
Yeah.
You're not even yourself. Yeah, it's this weird but it's this weird world of opposites though. That this
You know,
movie is sort of puts you in this like liminal world where it all of our preconceived notions are really being poked and prodded and played with, The lesson is pretty simple. It's like, hey, you can have fun with your wife, You can be
yeah.
sexy around your wife, and you can be real with your wife and your life. Don't go and be a loser and just like run away from all your duties and everything, but you can actually carry out those duties joyfully, you know, and find the play in doing them. And it doesn't have to be you're making this into something crappy. You know that, right? Like it's just all comes down to just, you know, taking your life way too seriously.
One thing that I did notice, sort of like of like finding the fun, is
Hmm.
like after like when Jamie Lee Curtis and the Middle Eastern lady like have their fight in at the back of that limo,
Yeah.
like Jamie Lee Curtis starts doing like James Bond style one liners,
Yeah.
which is like, do you want one bomb or two bomb?
Yeah. And
And
then she
then,
realizes, yeah.
but then like she like hits her the second time. Then she does like this little flip
Yeah, that was great.
with the champagne bottle,
Yeah.
and it's like she's like she's in this life or death situation. She's already having fun.
Well, it's because having the fun is what made her overcome,
Yeah,
the bad girl.
yeah, and that's why they do the tango at the end. Is that
Yeah.
they're loving life. They're
Yeah. It's like people are so afraid. It's like people are afraid to take a leap of faith because they don't know how what the outcome is going to be, you know? And people are afraid to enjoy their lives. I don't know, like because they're just too caught up in taking themselves seriously.
yeah.
But taking yourself seriously is the road to an unhappy, unsuccessful life. Yeah, because, it's part of playing is creativity, you know?
Hmm.
Creativity is essentially play. Like you're playing with these ideas, you're playing with these characters, you're having them say funny things. It opens up the limits of your mind, to play. It
Yeah,
opens up, yeah.
like you could boil down this movie to like the statement of like a married couple learns to have fun.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, what ended up being healthy for the marriage was less seriousness.
Was less seriousness. Yeah. On the topic of like spotting a phony.
Yeah.
Spotting a phony is 100% important in our lives. There's just people pretending to be other people all the time that are just trying to extract from you. And so being able to spot a phony is highly, highly important, especially in this day and age where you can't know everybody that you're dealing
Hmm.
with. And there are a lot of like disembodied, messages that you get that are vitally important that you pay attention to. Um, and so to be able to spot a phony one from a real one is hugely important. Like this movie also gives you a good lesson on how to spot a phony. Is like they tell you everything you want to hear. They're too good to be true. That they they don't really care about you. They care about what you can do for them.
Yeah.
And there's, the Bill Paxton character is an obvious phony in this movie. And I also think the girl that Jamie Lee Curtis fights with is the phony if
She's the phony love interest.
yes. And
Yeah.
she's the phony version of Jamie Lee Curtis, whereas Bill Paxton is the phony version of Arnold, right?
Yeah, because like she's like her villainy is pretty shallow.
Yeah.
Where she's like why
Money.
like yeah, why are you doing this? And she's like, I just want like they're paying me money. This is just
Yeah.
it's a lot of money, and now I have more money. It's
I know. Like these people are limited people. They're not deep at all. And so their interests are highly limited. Yeah, they're very capped at the most basic human urges,
yeah.
which is like sex and money and control.
Hmm.
You know, the phonies are very limited people. They're very limited in their desires. Whereas, like, credit to Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis, they are not limited people. They've just been limited, and their desires are much grander and much deeper.
Yeah, it's like it's so shallow compared even to the other villain,
The other villain being
the
Bill.
sand spider.
Oh yeah, that guy. Well, you know what? This is a reach, but tell me what you think. But I did predict that the inside man, remember it was like, we got a guy on the inside. Tom Arnold says that like a few times. Don't
Hmm.
worry, we got a guy on the inside. I predicted exactly who the inside man was. Do you know how?
Oh.
because he looked just like the sand spider, the the nerdy guy with
Yeah.
the curly hair, to the point where I was like, what a mistake. Like, why cast this guy? Why cast these two people that look so similar to each other as like different roles? Like, find somebody else, or else the audience is going to be confused. They look that similar, didn't they?
Like I don't know. Like he had like he was kind of like thinner with curly hair, and the sand spider was like had a full beard.
They looked very similar, and that's how I knew that that the sand that the
I
the
think I think it was Fossil or something was his name.
Fossil
Yeah.
was going to be the inside man. And then it got me thinking, what if he is just like the sand spider is just the dark reflection of this guy?
Of Fossil? No.
Wait, who's Fossil?
The tech guy.
Oh, the tech guy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sand spider is Fossil's dark reflection. And before you deny me this, reflections were a huge part of the movie. The mirror, the one-way mirror is a reflection.
Yeah.
Um, there were other reflection symbolism in it, but all the characters have their own reflections.
No, like Fossil was just like such a small character, and the Sand Spider was such a major antagonist. Like
Yes, yes, yes,
the
yes.
idea of the primary antagonist of the movie being a mirror reflection of like Q, like James Bond's Q, just some side character who's
Yeah,
like
that
who has like
well,
5 minutes of screen time. Like it seems so silly to build those characters up as reflections of each other.
but is he the main villain of the movie?
Yes.
Or is the your own reflection, the concept of a dark reflection of yourself, the villain?
Well, like I
Because
think
because all the
he does operate as kind of a direct like his a direct antagonist to Arnold Schwarzenegger because
Mhm.
like they have a very similar skill set.
Yeah, but who
Like
ends
he's
up who ends up taking him down?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, true. Yeah, later. But who ends up initially taking him down and initiating that fight?
Honestly, like the daughter.
No, you're trying to avoid it. You're trying to deny me.
Yeah, like he comes in with the fake camera
And he
crew.
starts shooting at him.
Yeah, and he starts and he like creates chaos that the daughter escapes in.
And it's his duty as the reflection
No,
to
I think this is a lot less complicated than you think it is. I think this is like James Cameron didn't want every single Arab person on screen to be evil,
well, there's that
so
too. That's yeah.
he made one of the spies Arab.
And that was judicious of him to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
that's
here's the other thing. The just in the what you were talking about. Why were those two, Jamie Lee Curtis and the bad girl, why did they have to fight in the car? Because she's fighting with her own dark reflection. And then he
yeah.
has to ultimately take her
Yeah,
out.
yeah. She's like she's combating like the more shallow like version of herself.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's outwardly hot, she's outwardly smart, and outwardly cultured, like everything that you'd want from a woman, she has in an outward way, and is very impressive and has a lot of confidence in everything.
Hmm.
Um, but on the inside, she's empty and evil. Jamie Lee Curtis had to excise that before she could be integrated again with her husband and save her
Hmm.
marriage. And then who is the one that defeats Simon? Simon is Arnold Schwarzenegger's dark alter ego.
Well, so Simon is defeated pretty easily.
Simon is the first to be defeated of all the alter egos because
Like,
he's the most silly of them.
yeah, like he's are you talking about like the first time like at the like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tom Arnold are threatening him on that dam, or are you talking about like the
Yeah.
final humiliation at the very end of the movie
Oh, I'm glad you've brought that up again. Yeah. And so,
where like Jamie Lee Curtis like sort of displays her power over him?
yeah. Yeah. And and so, a phony person's power is all in the dark, is in not the truth not coming out. It's like what you said with Nosferatu, you know. Nosferatu was weakened once he was known, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the same with these dark alter egos is they're very strong on the outside looking, but they're very weak and pee themselves, if you find out who they really are. And then so the end is very important. Like, yeah, it is weird that he showed up, but it just goes to show how much of a metaphor and fantasy this movie is. Is
Hmm.
yeah, he's there only for the reason of just to show like, hey, we know who you are now, and you're like nothing. So just get out of here,
Yeah.
pipsqueak. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like you're so weak. You mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like you
And you're still doing the same old song and dance, too. It's like you're
yeah.
not growing at all. Like we've grown. We've gone we've we've gone through this giant ordeal together.
Hmm.
And because of that, it's like going into the abyss and coming out the other side.
Yeah.
We've grown so much and we're so much more powerful now as a unified couple that know who we are and what we mean to our significant other. That dude, and you're just on the surface level doing surface level shit still. Like, dude, we're so above you, it's not even funny, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because like he was like at the peak of his power, he was like a legitimate rival to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, because Arnold had been so weakened over
Yeah.
in different ways. Yeah. And now, yeah, he doesn't even feel jealous.
Like certain characters are counterpoints to each other,
Hmm. But I'm
but
saying
like
literally. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that, yeah,
not so much.
yeah. Well, and there was also an interesting thing with names, and I love, and Cameron is very intentional about the names he chooses for things. There's the Titanic, which is sort of an ironic name. Um,
Well,
there,
he didn't pick the name of the Titanic.
true. Well, I guess that's
That
true,
was chosen for him.
but he liked it. And then there
Yeah.
was what was the hotel called in Piranha 2? Oh,
Elysium.
Elysium, that's right.
Yeah.
John Connor is Jesus Christ. Like he's very
Yeah.
intentional with the names. And so what are the names of the alter egos?
Boris and Doris.
Well, no, there's that too, which is sort of playful.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds you of what? Helen and Harry.
Yeah.
Those are like the play names and they're
Yeah.
sort of
Rhyming
similar.
instead of alliteration.
Yeah. So there's Simon, there's Juno is the bad version of Jamie Lee Curtis, and
Hmm.
there's the Sand Spider, which is the bad version of
We don't even know his real name,
yeah,
I think.
exactly, because he's just purely a
He's a cardboard antagonist.
yeah,
He's
he's a
just
cardboard antagonist.
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Juno. Who is Juno? Juno is the Roman version of.
She's the moon goddess.
No, it's not. Is it the moon goddess?
Juno's the moon.
But
I'm trying to
she's the wife of Zeus.
Hera.
Hera, that's right. So describe Hera to me. She is like the worst wife. She's very duplicitous. I think she's
Jealous.
jealous. I think she has an affair with Zeus. And Zeus has affairs with her. So she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, if she's doing it, I'll do it.
Yeah, well, Zoo stories are like 90% affairs by volume.
Yeah. But Hera, yes. What did you say? She's jealous.
Yeah, like
Um,
it's the most dysfunctional marriage you can imagine,
yeah.
where they hate each other but also still hate the fact that they have affairs.
And yeah, so and Juno is like a Helen is a very normal name. I guess there's Helen of Troy too, so that's
Yeah.
mythological, but Juno is purely a mythological type of name.
Mhm.
And then, Simon is supposedly Arnold's dark alter ego. Who does Simon remind you of in mythology? Think of the
So it's like
Bible.
like a
Simon denied Jesus. Simon, because Jesus was the one that said, "Simon, I tomorrow you're going to deny me 3 times, and you know what? I know you're going to do this, but I don't approve of this, but just know that it's cool. We're cool. When everything goes down." And Simon is sort of like, "Huh, I would never do that. I love you, Jesus." And then when it came down to it, Simon denied him 3 times. And I'm just taking you down my my thinking path here. And then what is what is Arnold's main problem in the marriage? It's denying, first off, Jamie Lee Curtis, but also denying his true self.
this is all a lot this is a lot of stretching happening here.
Yeah, I to,
Like
I warned you ahead of
I
time.
think
So I think that like the alter dark parts are like the mythological realm, and they're doing mythological things there, and they need to be studied and understood before they can be realized
uh
as people.
yeah, nah.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
but I had fun. At least I had fun going down that road thinking,
Yeah, like it's one of those fun things where it's like, oh, is this movie an allegory, like a full allegory for this other thing? And then you start like drawing characters to characters and like, oh, this is so cool.
yeah.
Yeah, whether or not it makes sense.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything to the metaphor of the bridge during that big bridge climax? Like,
I think that was just an action scene. I don't think
y-
that the idea of because like if anything, they're building a bridge throughout the movie between them. Like they're
true.
bridging the gap between them. So
Bridging
like
the gap.
yeah, so blowing up a bridge is kind of the exact opposite of the
Well, it's
what
kind of like it's
like the
kind of like the
it's the opposite of the culmination of their story.
that's well, it could be like how I like in Terminator, I like the metaphor at the end of both of them where they try to trap the Terminator, and that's like them trapping technology, and the Terminator still gets through though, and it's like perhaps this bridge scene is just the whole movie in a microcosm. So there's a bridge, which is their marriage, and then it there was trouble happening on the bridge. I'm just kind of freeballing, okay? And there's trouble on the bridge, trouble in their marriage. And the only way to stop it is to just just blow a gap in it, just as a stopgap measure, just to stop the bad things from getting to the other side. And the bad
Uh
thing is a nuke, you know
yeah.
and it's like the nuke was in this precious bull statue, right? And then the
Mhm.
nuke in the bull statue represents the ability to nuke your own marriage, which is this precious, beautiful thing that's always hidden inside it. And then so the nuke is trying to get to a divorce, you know, which is the other side at the other side of the bridge. And the bad people are taking the nuke. And then so, they Arnold makes the decision to blow up the bridge to avoid the worst problem of the nuke getting to the other side. And then Jamie Lee Curtis, and then they communicate. So Jamie Lee Curtis is heading towards the gap, and Arnold is trying to tell her, "There's a gap, there's a gap," and then she can't hear him really, and
Yeah.
then so she's and then but he kind of like guides her, and then she's like, "There's a gap," so then they're finally communicating, and then they work together to jump over this gap in their marriage, this problem in their marriage, and then they get to the other side without the nuke and they avoid a divorce. What do you think of that?
I think that's
It's
made needlessly complicated. Like I think there might
no,
be like
it's the meaningfulness of it because is
there
is
there there
any
there
of
there, there
that
like
is
there
any
might
of
be
that
some
not part of the lesson of the movie?
like it's like you're just like you're just mapping random things onto other random things. Like it's like if you do that enough, like you can make something. But like there is there's the kernel of truth there is that like Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis like learning to cooperate is kind of the crux of the movie and the crux of that scene.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's as deep as it goes. I think like oh the car is the marriage, and then like Juno is Monday, and then like it's like I just don't like it. Like trying to like go like that granular is I think going too far.
Yeah, well, it's the Trojan horse method. Because if you just tell somebody the truth, like you go to a therapist and they're like, yeah, you need to not take yourself so seriously. It's like they'll
Mhm.
like in the marriage counselor's office, like people will hear those words and kind of understand the words, but they will not capture and grasp the meaning of it and what that actionably should be. Part of role playing and part of or I would say part of fantasies and part of movies
Mhm.
and the lessons we get from movies is that it really gives us something to chew on and to
Yeah.
really grasp, not just understand the words, but grasp the meaning of that and carry it into our lives. And so I don't think it's unimportant um, to draw meaning from something like that. It's inherently silly, you know, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't have a problem with like the 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 final scene of the movie being a kind of culmination of the events of the movie. Like I think just having like individual like like 3 second snippets of events connecting to like specific scenes in the movie is just silly and probably like making connections that don't really exist.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well that was the Mythic Movie Maker podcast.
Yeah. And Nick, for all the guff you gave me, you're fired.
That was hilarious, by the way. I loved that.
Yeah.
Bad CGI made it even better.
Yeah. Arnold is like the master of the horrific one-liner. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like
was
the way he was flailing too.
hilarious.